movie will begin in 5 moments, the mindless voice announced. All those unseated will await the next show. We filed slowly, languidly into the hall. The auditorium was vast and silent. As we seated and were darkened, the voice continued. The program for this evening is not new. You have seen this entertainment through and through. You've seen your birth, your life and death. You might recall all of the rest. Did you have a good world when you died? Enough to base a movie on? Getting out of here. Where are you going? To the other side of morning.
Box 3. Pool. 5. Little scoundrel. Spool. 5. Box 3. Spool 5. Spool. Mother, rest at last. Black ball. Black ball. The dark nurse. Slight improvement in bowel condition. Memorable. Equinox. Memorable. Equinox. Memorable equinox. Farewell to love.
$39 today. Sound as a bell. $39 today. Sound as a bell, apart from my old weakness. And intellectually, I have now every reason to suspect at the crest of the wave, or thereabouts. Celebrated the awful occasion, as in recent years, quietly at the wine house. Not a soul. Sat before the fire with closed eyes, separating the grain from the husks. Jotted down a few notes on the back of an envelope. Good to be back in my den, in my old rags. I've just eaten, I regret to say, 3 bananas, and only with difficulty refrained from a 4th. Fatal things for a man with my condition. Cut 'em out. The new light above my table is a great improvement. With all this darkness around me, I feel less alone. In a way, I'd love to get up, move around it, then back here. To me.
Krapp. The grain. Now what I wonder do I mean by that? I suppose I mean those things worth having when all my dust has settled. Like close my eyes and try and imagine them.
Extraordinary silence this evening. I strain my ears and do not hear a sound. Old Miss Baglome always sings at this hour, but not tonight. Songs of her girlhood, she says. Hard to think of her as a girl. Wonderful woman, though. But not I fancy. Shall I sing when I am her age, if I ever am? No. Did I sing as a boy? No.
Did I ever sing? No. Just been listening to an orgy. Just been listening to passages at random. Passages. I did not check in the book, but must be at least 10 or 12 years ago. At that time, I think I was still living on and off in Keeter Street. Out of that, Jesus. Yes, Jesus. Hopeless business. Not much about her. Apart from a tribute to her eyes. Very warm. I suddenly saw them. Incomparable. Oh well. These old PMs are gruesome, but I often find them a help for embarking on new retrospect. Hard to believe I was ever that young that old. The voice. And the aspirations. And the resolutions. To drink less, in particular. Back on the year that is gone, with what I hope is perhaps a glint of the old eye to come. There is, of course, the house on the canal where Mother lay a-dying in the late autumn after her long vacuity. The house on the canal where Mother lay a-dying in the late autumn after her long vacuity. question of being or remaining a widow or a widower. Being or remaining. Deep weeds of a deity, also of an animal, especially a bird. A weaver bird. Black plumage of male. The Vidya bird. Benched by the weir, from where I could see her window, there I sat in the biting wind, wishing she were gone. Hardly a soul, just a few regulars, nursemaids, infants, old men, dogs. I got to know them quite well. You know, by appearance, of course, I mean. One dark beauty I recollect particularly, all white and starch, incomparable bosom. Big, black, hooded perambulator. Most funeral thin. Whenever I looked in her direction, she had her eyes on me. And yet, when I was bold enough to speak to her, not having been introduced, she threatened to call a policeman. As if I had designs on her virtue. The face she had. The eyes like chrysolite. Oh well. I was there when the blind went down. One of those dirty brown roller affairs. Throwing a ball for a little white dog, as chance would have it. I happened to look up. There it was. All over and done with at last. I sat on for a few moments with the ball in my hand and the dog yelping and pawing at me. Moments. Her moments. My moments. The dog's moments. In the end, I held it out to him, and he took it in his mouth, gently. Gently. A small, old, black, hard, solid rubber ball. I shall feel it in my hand till my dying day. I might have kept it, but I gave it to the dog. Oh well.
Can you look me straight in my eyes and tell me love is forgiven beneath it all?
Up her leg with the
She
punt,
cried
bathed off the bank, then pushed out into the stream and drifted.
that what's not
She
safe
lay stretched out on the floorboards, with her hands under her head and her eyes closed. Sun blazing down, bit of breeze, water, nice, lively.
you can't deny
I noticed a scratch on her thigh and asked her how she came by it. Picking gooseberries, she said. I said again I thought it was hopeless and no good going on, and she agreed, without opening her eyes. I asked her to look at me. After a few moments, I bent over her to get them in the shadow. The eyes, they opened slits because of the glare. Let me in. We drifted in among the flags and stuck, the way they went down sign before the stem. Past midnight, never knew such silence.
you
Just been listening to that stupid bastard I took myself for 30 years ago. Hard to believe I was ever as bad as that. Thank God that's all done with anyway. The eyes she had. Everything there. Everything. All the... Everything there. Everything. Everything in this old muckball. All the light and dark and famine and feasting of the ages. Yes. Let that go, Jesus. Take his mind off his homework. Jesus. Oh, well. Maybe he was right. Maybe he was right. Nothing to say. This week. What's a year now? The sour cut and the iron stool. Reveled in the word spool. Spool. Happiest moment of the past 500,000. Went to sleep and fell off the pew. Sometimes wondered in the night if a last effort mightn't. Finish your booze now and get to your bed. Go on with this drivel tomorrow. Or leave it at that. Leave it at that. Lie propped up in the dark and wander. Big Ed in the dingle on a Christmas Eve. Gathering my holly, red berried. Big Ed on Krogan on a Sunday morning. In the haze, with the bitch. Stop and listen to the bells. And so on. And so on. Big Ed. Big Ed. All that old misery. Once wasn't enough.
Profound gloom and indigence. Until that memorable night in March, at the end of the jetty, and the howling wind, never to be forgotten. When I suddenly saw the whole thing, the vision at last. This, I fancy, is what I have chiefly to record this evening, against the day when my work will be done, and perhaps no place left in my memory, warm or cold, for the miracle that, for the fire that set it alight. What I suddenly saw then was this, that the belief I had been going on all my life, namely...
Picking gooseberries, she said. I said again I thought it was hopeless and no good going on. And she agreed, without opening her eyes. I asked her to look at me, and after a few moments she did. But the eyes were just slits because of the glare.
I was thinking that maybe I'd get a maid, find a place nearby for her to stay. Just someone to keep my house clean. Fix
I bent over her to get them in the shadow, and they opened. Let me in. We drifted in among the flags and stuck. The way they went down sighing before the stem. I lay down across her with my face in her breasts and my hand on her. We lay there without moving, but under us all moved, and moved us gently, up and down, and from side to side.
It's hard to make that change when life and love turn strange and
Past midnight. Never knew such silence. The earth might be uninhabited.
Here right in this reel. Box 3, spool 5. Perhaps my best years are gone when there's a chance of happiness. But I wouldn't want them back. Not with the fire in me now. No. I wouldn't want them back.
In a white room with black curtains near the station. Black roof country, no gold pavements, tired starlings. Silver horses ran down moonbeams in your dark eye, in your dark eye. Dawnlight smile on you leaving my contentment.
I'll wait in this place where the sun never shines. Wait in this place where the shadows run from themselves.
You said no strings could secure you at the station. Platform ticket, restless diesels, goodbye windows. I walked into such a sad